Sahano bhunaktu saha viryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. So we saw in the last class yesterday where Arjuna says, where he feels very sad looking at his people in opposition who have come there to fight. So he says that killing all these people, my own people, family and teachers, etc. Even if I win, how I'm going to enjoy the pleasure gained by killing through the blood. So instead, I just go and beg and eat. So that is the way he thinks. So up to there we saw. So then the next verse, Na chaitat vidmak kataranno gariyaha yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyuhu yaneva hatva na jijivishamaha devastita pumukhe dhartarashtra. Still he is going on and on. Moreover, we do not know which one of these two better for us. He is here Arjuna is talking as if he understands what is right and what is wrong. So that is what we understand through this. And he says whether there may be, two people are there to fight. They may win or we may win. We may conquer them or they may conquer us. And even if we conquer, who would like to live a life of conquering, winning, killing our own people? So he's showing his agony or sadness to Krishna. What is the what I'm doing here? Why I'm fighting against my own people? Okay. So then, yeah. So in the next verse, the same thing. He goes on and on. Karpanya dosha pahata swabhavaha prachami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yashreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tva prapannam. So, actually teaching has not yet begun. Lord Krishna has not yet spoken. He's listening to his all his lamenting. He's lamenting. So he's listening to him quietly. So here in this verse, Arjuna says, please tell me what is right and what is wrong. Because Arjuna is a great warrior. At the same time, he is also a knowledgeable person. He has studied, he knows. But for this time being, due to attachment, due to emotions, he got carried away. Like for example, if there is a judge in the court, and I saw a video also, in YouTube. There's one lady judge, and there's one criminal. Okay, so he's been brought to the court, and as he was explaining about himself, she remembers that he was her classmate when in the school. They were together in the school. Then in between, she reminds him, hey, do you remember me? I'm that person. Immediately he feels shocked and he starts crying. But still, she listens to him as a judge. So there is a chance to get carried away by emotions. If the judge is a father and the criminal uh, can be a son sometime, so the judge may get shaken to give the judgment because he is his son, you know. He forgets that he's a judge and his job is to give justice. He may forget it. He may get carried away by instant emotions and he may not be able to do justice. So this is the thing happening with the Arjuna, that even though he's a warrior and very clear about his stand, but at that moment he got overpowered. He came under the spell of emotions, tangling emotions. So he's saying, I think in his mind he has a hint that he may not be doing something right. This is something wrong. Okay, whether to fight with them or not, that one thing. Another thing, what is his stand? Is he taking a right decision, saying that I don't want to fight? So now he says, please tell me, oh Lord Krishna, okay, please tell me what is right and what is wrong. Shishyasteham shadi mam tva prapannam. I I will take you as my teacher. Take me as your student. In the story, till this point, Arjuna was like a friend and a guide, and also relative, Krishna. Even though he knew the power of Krishna and the knowledge of Krishna and Krishna as a avatara, as an incarnation of God, he knew that in many incidents he could know that what is the truth of Lord Krishna. But in this point here, the first time he says, you take me as your student. I want you to be my teacher and start teaching me. Please teach me. This is what he requests. So here, one thing we have to understand, there is a reason why this verse comes here. Because in spiritual life, the teacher is very important. Sometimes people have a problem. Do we need to have teacher? Can't we just study ourselves and get it? Because that ego will never allow you to seek knowledge. You want to get everything by your own effort, everything by yourself. Generally, they say people feel proud that I'm a self-made man. I made myself. I have never taken any help from anyone. I made myself. So generally in psychology, they say it's an authority issue. Authority issue means the childhood problem, the problem with the father. There is something to do with the father. So they will never want to have authority. They want to be always self-made. I made myself. I have studied under the street lamp and became today whatever I am. So they want their sons also to follow the same footsteps. You have all the facilities. I have studied under the street light. So it's a kind of authority problem. And especially when it comes to spirituality, what is meant by spirituality? Something to do with spirit. There's no translation in English for spiritual life in Sanskrit, adhyatmika. So let's go with the language only, English only. spirit, something to do with the spirit, which is not object, which is the nature of your own self. Okay. If you objectify the self, then who is objectifying? The self, you, the self is objectifying, right? Like if you look at a pen, the pen is the object and you are the seer. This is the scene and you are the seer. And it is very easy to see the pen because the pen is different from you. It's not you. So you can see it. You need eyes to see. The means of knowledge is to see through the eyes. And it is very easy. Here, even if you don't have any guide, like for example, you just go to some place, okay, some country, and you'll try to find out what is there to see here. Is there anything to be seen? Okay, there's a palace, the old palace, monument. So you just go there. And when you go there on the gate, the board will be there, or sometime on the marble, the sculpture, the writings in English, it will be written. This is 6th century or 10th century, the King Johnson, some so and so king, and he built in the name of his friend. And so many wars happened, so many people captured, they could not destroy it. So you get the idea about the monument or about the palace. And it's easy now. You know to connect. You know the history, you know the background. And there is a palace in front of you. It is visible. So if you have a guide, it's good. It's well and good. It's easy. You need not stand and read that about the palace. The guide will just tell you everything, all the story. As you are walking in, he will just explain, this is what is the palace and this is the king, this is the history of all this. So it may be easy. Is there any effort there? Is there anything to do? You have to just see its object in front of your eyes. But in the case of spirituality, there's nothing to objectify because we are talking about something through which you objectify. We are talking about the self. There is a self. Who is that self? One who says, there is a self. But I am the body. No. Who says I am the body? I have the body. So that is the point here to be understood. So through scriptures, through study of such spiritual books, we come to know the nature of the self. What is the benefit of knowing that self? Can that be helpful for me to get rid of misery? That is the whole, study. And why we need teacher? Another question. Teacher is someone who teaches. Okay. In Sanskrit, the word teacher is a guru. Gukarastandakaro vai. Gukarastandakaro vai tan nivartakaha. Rukarastan nivartakaha. Okay. There is a two word, gu and ru, guru. Nowadays, Western people also use, he is my guru. He is my finance guru. He is my shareholder guru. He is my dance guru. He is my yoga guru. So we say that, it is very well known, guru. There's one movie also, Love Guru. I think you all know that. So here, generally people take guru as a teacher. Who is a teacher? One who teaches. But when it comes to Sanskrit, in our culture, guru means one who removes the darkness. Gu means darkness, ru means removal. Gukarastan dakaro vai, rukarastan nivartakaha. There is a verse for that to understand. So the one who removes the darkness. What is darkness here? Ignorance. One who removes the ignorance is a teacher. So as I said, because the self is not an object, self is something which you objectify everything else, by which you see everything. That is what is called spiritual life here. So to give that importance of teacher, why teacher? To the self is self-existing. You need not prove yourself that you exist. It is self-existent. By itself, it is independent. Okay. When I'm talking about self, self means where you say I. The nature of I, we will be studying. The whole study of second chapter is about the nature of I. What is the nature of I when we are talking? And can it be conveyed by words? Why so much teaching here? Why so many verses? Why 700 verses? Why there is a lot of argument or dialogue? It's not argument. Arguing is different. Arguing is fighting, like whatever you say is wrong or whatever I say is right. So that is argument. Here it is not argument. It is logically proved, logically established what is truth. Okay. So why it has to be taught? Again, because it's not an object. If it is an object, the person has to tell you the method in how you can achieve it. If it is not there already, then you have to achieve it. Right? For example, if you have an apple in your hand, do you have to do anything there? No. If I tell you, where is the apple? You need not do anything. You have to just show this is the apple. Okay. But if you don't have an apple, then there is an effort. There is a way to get it. So same way here, the self which is already existing, already there, it has to be recognized. It cannot be gained. You cannot gain the self. In the sense you are not supposed to produce the self here or manufacture the self or do something gradually that self will become complete self or something like that. It is in small size now, the self. You have to make it big, all pervasive. No, it is already independent, all pervasive Atma, the self, the consciousness. In English, you can call it as a consciousness because I'm already conscious. I'm conscious about everything else, all the objects. I'm very conscious. So that is what the subject matter is. And it can be conveyed only through the teacher. And that too, in what way it is conveyed? By removing obstacles. Something, where if you look at the sun, sometimes sun is not visible. It doesn't mean there is no sun. Okay, it's because it's clouded. It's clouded. What kind of work you have to do there? You have to just wait till the cloud moves. So the teacher helps to remove the obstacles, and the truth is always there, and you recognize that. So that is the purpose of having a teacher, because it is not an object, it's you. So that's why this word is very important here. I want you to be my teacher. Please teach me what is right and what is wrong and what is truth. Yeah. So here in this verse, same verse, he says, I ask you, tell me that which is definitely good for me. Teach me. Who have surrendered to you. I have surrendered to you. I have become the seeker now. I am ready to learn from you. Please teach me. So that is the attitude here as a student. I am ready to learn. If somebody comes with so many ideas and so many philosophies in mind, and already the feeling that I know, so that doesn't, it doesn't fit. The person should have open mind, and also the the feeling of knowing that I have to know something. So that's why the surrender comes there. One has to just give up oneself for that purpose. For that purpose. What is the purpose here? Self-knowledge is a purpose. So what is the surrender here? You give your time and energy for that. So that is the thing. Nahi prapashyami mamapunudhyat yachokam अवाप्य भूमा वसपत्नमृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. So he says, I do not see anything that can remove sorrow of mind, which weakens the sense organs. It just weakens the sense organs, that's all. I don't see anything that it can help me by fighting or gaining anything. By enjoying the pleasure, what he gets out of the war, after the war, the kingdom, he says only the weakening of the sense organs. Just keep enjoying, nothing is going to happen. Nothing can be gained. We don't see any gain in that. So this is the verse. Here he says that I don't see any benefit. It's just enjoyment, and that enjoyment will not give me permanent happiness. It is only the weakening of the sense organs. That's all. Organs, in the sense, all the senses, all the five senses, whatever senses we have. Just enjoying that tongue, ears, nose, and from where we, throw waste. So that's it. Nothing else I can achieve by this fight. So now the Sanjaya, again, we have three people, right? Sanjaya, Krishna, and Arjuna. By now you may be familiar with Sanjaya, one who is a commentator. He is telling the story, giving the commentary, ongoing commentary to Dhritarashtra, the king who is blind. He is sitting in the palace, listening to commentary, what's going on. So this is a kind of, character here. So Sanjaya Uvacha, Evamuktva Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapa Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhuvaha. He says, Evamuktva Rishikesham. Having spoken thus, whatever he said, I don't want to fight. Please take me as a teacher. This is not right thing to do. What I will do. So these are the words he said. Having spoken thus to Lord Krishna, Arjuna said to Krishna, I shall not fight. He said, I will not fight. In the beginning, he very funny. Before this verse, he says that please teach me what is right and what is wrong. I want, I want to become your student. Okay. And out of surrender, he said that. Immediately after saying that, he's saying that I will not fight. He's deciding for himself. He did not wait for Krishna to say anything. You go to a teacher, please teach me yoga, and you start doing all the asanas. I think this is chakrasana. Okay, this is a wheel posture. This the leg should be here, and you should. I think I should breathe like this. The teacher is watching you. What's happening here? He just came as a student, and what is he doing? Somewhere he has learned. He has seen some videos or something, and he start doing that. So like that, here we see, even though he says, "I want to be your student," but he says, I shall not fight," and became silent. This is the verse. Tushnim babuha. He becomes silent, saying that I will not fight, sir. Enough. So next verse, 10th one. Tamuvacha Rishikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Senayorubayor Madhye Vishidantamidam Vachaha. So now Vishidanta. Yeah. So Lord Krishna, the Sanjaya is giving the commentary here. He says, by listening to Arjuna's words, his grief, his sadness, what is the expression of Krishna? Krishna is not sad here. Oh my God, what happened to Arjuna? He's not lamenting. He is as though smiling. His face is like a smile, just a small smile, not laughter. As though he's smiling, he's just watching him. The to Arjuna, one who is grieving, one who is lamenting, one who is feeling sad, he's looking at him. And then the teaching begins. Because he is already asked, please teach me. I want you to be my teacher. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to learn from you. So here the teaching begins from the 11th verse. Even if you look at the Bhagavad Gita book, we have, the great teacher, traditional teacher, from where the tradition of Advaita comes down, Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya. He writes commentary to Bhagavad Gita from this verse onwards. He didn't want to waste his time for the story. In the first chapter and up to the second chapter, 10th verse, it is only about the description. What is going on? What is happening? What are the feelings of Arjuna? So, till there, we don't see any commentary. From here, he gives the commentary because the teaching begins from this verse onwards. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Lord, start teaching. Ashauchyananvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasu nagatasumscha nanushocanti panditaha. This is the verse. The Lord said, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Lord said, you are grieving, you are feeling sad, grieving for those who should not be grieved for. At the same time, you are speaking the words of wise. very, because this chapter has 72 verses. So some verses I will just give you the meaning. And in some point, I will touch all the verses. Okay. So sometime I may not go in detail. I will keep it for time to come where I can just explain everything whatever we have done before. So that is the way we can cover the whole second chapter. Because if I start explaining each verse, it is 1 hour. Each verse is 1 hour from here now onwards. So many things to know. So I can give you the summary of the verses. Okay. In some places, I will just read out the meanings of the verse. And then if I find some point, some place where the explanation is needed, then I'll again go back and cover that also. Okay. Yeah. So here, the Lord said, you are grieving for those who should not be grieved for. Very strange. What a teaching. He's saying, don't grieve for people, for these people. And not that he's saying don't grieve. He's saying who should not be grieved, should not be grieved for. You should don't grieve, he did not say. There is no way that you have to be grieved for. Why? Then the teaching, that is the way he builds up. He puts the foundation for the teaching. And at the same time, you are speaking like a wise person. He's saying, right, what is the use of fight? What I'll get? Nothing I'll achieve. Whatever I achieve, how can I enjoy? So he's talking as if he's a wise person there. The person who has come there to fight. See, here we have to be very clear. Krishna is not pushing. He's not pushing, go and fight, kill them, finish them. Krishna has nothing to do with those people here. Krishna is very, he is in the middle. He is not, he is for righteousness, for dharma. He is not for any group. Righteousness. What is right, it has to be done. So he's saying you grieve for someone who need not be grieved for. At the same time, you talk like a wise person. And wise people will never grieve. That is what he says. Wise people will never grieve. That means wise people will never cry when somebody is dead. Will they be like a stone? Sir, your friend passed away. Okay. Will he be like that? Not in that sense. See, here we need to know internally, inside, in his heart, in his mind, he is very clear. There is nothing, there is nobody to die here. That is the knowledge. There is no death. Oh my God, what is he talking? There is no death. So many people died in Corona with this virus. So many people died. So many wars are going around in the world. So many people are dying. You see the news. Why it is said nobody dies? Yes, that is what is spirituality. That is what to be understood. The mystery of death. What is death? Who dies here? We will see that. Next verse. Is that clear till now? Whatever I explained? Okay. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Very interesting verse, very confusing verse. I did not exist in any time. I did not exist in any time. You did not exist. Very confusing verse. See, what doubt you get, that is the answer for this. These kings did not exist. Such an idea, not at all true. That is not true. That they did not exist, neither me, neither you, that we never exist. We never existed. Okay. All of us will not exist hereafter. Also not true. Oh my God, what kind of verse? Why this kind of puzzle? It's a puzzle. So here, see, this is what we need a teacher to explain that exactly in what way it has to be understood. That's why we take this scriptures as Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana means testimony coming from a authority, coming from the Veda. Veda is for us, for a Hindu followers, the Veda means the knowledge, the book of knowledge is the final authority. And the words coming from there is means for us to achieve knowledge, to gain knowledge. That is the means. Shabda Pramana, testimony in the English. It is not just a sound. It's not some meaningless sound. The sound, it's not a sound. It's a words loaded with the meaning. The words with the meaning. That is what is called Shabda Pramana. So in Vedanta, in the next week class, we are going to study about Sankhya philosophy. There is one more philosophy, very beautiful philosophy, oldest philosophy, which we are going to do that. So they accept three pramanas, means of knowledge. Like if you have to look at this pen, what is the means of knowledge here? To look at the pen, eyes are the means of knowledge. If you want to taste ice cream, what is the means to taste ice cream? The tongue, the taste. If you want to hear something, what is the means to hear? Ears. If you want to touch the skin, if you want to feel some object, you need to touch it. Your skin should touch to that particular object. Then you'll know whether it is hot or cold or whatever. So these are the means. So in Sankhya philosophy, they talk about three means, which we will see. And here in Vedanta, they talk about 6 means. If you want to know any object or something, you need to have these means of knowledge. These means of knowledge can convey you something. So the first means, we have something called Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha means direct knowledge, which is visible. You look at something, you know it. You look at the pen, you understand it. It is a pen. That is one way of knowing, right? Perfect. One, the Pratyaksha Pramana, the first one. Second one is Anumana. Anumana means inference. You infer. How? You, like, when you come out of your house at early morning, you look at the, the courtyard. It's all wet. So what you infer there? Oh, it might have rained at night. Already you should have the direct knowledge of rain before. The memory should be there. The memory or the understanding about rain should be there in your mind. You should be experiencing that before. On that basis, you infer. That is the inference. Then arthapatti. Arthapatti. Arthapatti means you assumption, proper assumption. You like there's one example. There is a person who doesn't uh, who is putting on weight and he does not eat in the daytime. He does not eat in the daytime. So you do the assumption. Oh, if he's not eating in the daytime, how he's putting on weight? Maybe he's eating in the night. So that is the way you get the knowledge. You understand. Correct? This is also based on your experience in the direct. Okay. So the direct knowledge and the indirect knowledge and assumption. Okay. Then comes comparison. You compare. Through comparison, you understand. Like they give good old example of Nil Gai. There's one cow. I don't know in English what is said. Okay, forget it. If you want to explain what is elephant, you may. It's not very good example, but so you compare that the big stone, the black color stone, or a big buffalo is like elephant. Some kind of similar comparison. Through comparison, also you can arrive at the knowledge. So this is the another means to achieve, to get the knowledge through comparison. Oh, that man is like that tall guy, something like that, very close. So you understand. That's also one way of understanding, one way of knowing. So this is called upamana, comparison. Then there is one interesting, anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi means knowledge of absence. There's also, you get knowledge from absence. How there is no elephant in your room. Did you get knowledge or not? You got it right. There is no elephant. So absence also can convey. There is no lion sitting on your table. There's no lion sitting on your table. So that is also the knowledge of absence. Through that also you understand. Absence also can convey the knowledge, convey the message. And then finally comes Shabda Pramana, the testimony, coming from Aptavakya. Aptavakya means from from proper source, from a proper source. If it comes from a proper source, also can be the means to understand. So it is said, if some blind man is walking on the street and it is dark, somebody can convey, turn right, turn left. Now there's an obstacle, don't cross it, wait. So through these words also one can convey the knowledge. So these are the means talked in Vedanta, 6 means. So here, self not being an object, it can be conveyed to Shabda Pramana. Because other all means cannot convey. That's why the teaching is there. That's why Arjuna says, teach me. There is a need of a teacher here. Because it is not an object. At the same time, it has to be conveyed. So in a alaukika, it's called the word. Alaukika means something not very normal in the world. Normally, conveyed through all these means. So through some special method, this knowledge is conveyed. So now if you look at all these means, you understand why this way it is taught, why it looks so confusing, why it is not so direct, why it has to be taught like this. Because the second chapter is the one of the difficult chapter. It's not direct. Even if you look at the meaning, you look at it after the class, you will again think, what is there to understand here? If you look at the meaning of verse, nothing to understand. So why only Shabda Pramana can work? Why not direct? Why not direct means? Because the self is not an object to convey you. Krishna cannot tell directly, hey, Arjuna, look at this. This is what I was telling you. He can't do that because he cannot objectify. There is no object there. Self is not an object. And at the same time, you cannot assume or you cannot infer. Self cannot be inferred because you don't have experience or you never seen it, you never touched it. So there is no direct connection. Direct means objectifiable. It's not objectifiable. So you cannot assume also, oh, the self may be like this, self may be like that. You cannot assume. Once you cannot assume, you cannot infer and you cannot assume also because no idea about self. So how can you assume? Once you have no idea, how can you compare? One cannot say the self is like this. There is no comparison because it's not an object. It cannot be seen through these eyes. So how can you compare? There's no comparison. When there is nothing to compare and see, where is the point? How can you say absence also? That self is not here, self is not there. How can you say that? So all the means gets defeated. You cannot achieve the self by all these means. Then there is only one means, is the Shabda Pramana, through the words of a proper source. It can be conveyed. So very tricky. It's very tricky. Self-knowledge is very tricky because it is not an object. If it is an object, I need not teach you actually. And Krishna also need not teach. Did you understand now? If it is an object, where is the question of teaching? Why so many questions? He has to give one method. Do this, that's it. But there is a way to make that person see which is not an object. This is the second chapter. Very tricky. If you understand this basic knowledge, if you understand this, why it is said this way, then you can look at each verse is talking to you. You will see the verse start unfolding the knowledge. Every verse is giving you the knowledge. If you don't understand this, it is some verse. Yeah. So that is why from now onwards, the verses will be like that. So you have to have this basic knowledge. Basic knowledge. Why this way it is taught. Yeah. So I did not exist. I did not exist. That is also not true. You did not exist. So here, what is he talking about? He's saying when death here we have three bodies. Okay, they talk about three bodies. One is sthula sharira, that is physical body. Of course, in yoga philosophy, you might have learned all that just for repetition. And there is a sukshma sharira, subtle body, and karana sharira, causal body. Cause, C-A-U-S-E, cause for these two bodies, a causal body. So what is physical, sthula, physical body? Physical body, whatever we are having, this body, whatever is objectifiable, we can touch and see. The food, what we ate, the food has become this, whatever pizza, whatever we pasta or banana, apple, whatever we have eaten has become this body, physical body. Then what about mind, intellect, prana, all that comes under subtle body. The subtle body holds the physical body. So physical body's boss is a subtle body. And these two bodies are because of the causal body, the seed of this body is Karana Sharira. Karana means cause, the reason, because of that is this. Okay, it is a huge subject about these three bodies, and they talk about five koshas, etc. That's okay. I will be teaching all that whenever we have a chance in explanation of some verses. So, who dies? They say, in the sense, the physical body alone dies. The the physical body only die, and subtle and causal body travels. There is no death for the subtle body. That is why, we see that so many stories of people where they talk about past life, etc. Some of the people we see that they even remember their past life. They remember. We all have that in our hard disk. It is stored, but we cannot remember that. Forget about past life. We don't even remember what breakfast we had in the morning today. What about past life or yesterday, etc.? So there is a proper logic to understand, and also we have people who could see their past life. It is not just a story. Okay. So whatever is happening now, we connect with our past karma. Past karma means the whatever result waiting to unfold, to give fruit, to give result is this life. Okay. So here he's saying something is always there. The body is gone, that's fine. So don't, there is not that we did not exist, that is not right. You did not exist, that is not right. They also did not exist, that is also not right, right? So that is not at all true. So very confusing answer he gave. So next we will see from the next class what answers he's going to give. Very interesting topic, and we will cover. As I said, I will cover as and when it comes. Some point I will stop, come back, and again pick up the thread from there. So with this, I can complete the second chapter. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। थैंक यू।